This is you. The FBI just released your face to every major news network on the planet. Your name is trending in 14 countries. Cybersecurity agencies across 3 continents are hunting you. Your crime? You have never written a single line of code in your life. You do not own a hacking tool. You do not know what a server is. 6 months ago, you were a 31-year-old sales rep who could barely reset his own Wi-Fi password. So how did a completely ordinary person become the most wanted cybercriminal in the world? Let us uncover this story. Chapter 1. The Nobody. This is your life before all of this. You wake up every morning at 6:47 a.m. in a 1-bedroom apartment that smells faintly of last night's takeout. You shower, dress in the same rotation of 5 shirts, and commute 45 minutes to a glass office building where you sell enterprise software subscriptions to companies that do not particularly want them. Your salary is decent. Not good, decent. Enough to cover rent, the car payment, and the student loans that follow you like a shadow. You have $1,400 in savings. You have not taken a vacation in 2 years. You have a manager named Derek who takes credit for your deals, and a performance review coming up that you already know will go nowhere. You are invisible in the way that most people in their early 30s are invisible. Not struggling enough to ask for help. Not succeeding enough to be noticed. Then, one Tuesday afternoon, Derek calls you into his office and places a thin manila folder on the desk between you. He does not look at you when he says it. Your position has been eliminated. Budget restructuring. Nothing personal. You drive home in a daze. You sit on your couch in the dark for a long time. You are nobody. And you are about to become notorious. Chapter 2. The Offer. 3 weeks after losing your job, you are burning through savings and sending out applications that disappear into the void. Then a message arrives on LinkedIn. The sender's profile is sparse, a consulting company you have never heard of. The message is short. It says they found your sales background impressive. They are looking for someone with your exact skill set. The compensation is almost insultingly good. No technical experience required. Your survival instinct says something is off. Your bank balance says take the meeting. The office address leads you to a co-working space on the 11th floor of a downtown building. The man who greets you is well-dressed, calm, and forgettable in the way that very dangerous people often are. He introduces himself simply as Marcus. Marcus explains the role with a pleasant smile. His firm provides competitive intelligence services for large corporations. Think of it as research, he says. You will build relationships, gather information, report back. Nothing illegal, he assures you, just conversation. The salary he quotes makes your vision blur slightly. You ask what kind of information. He says the kind that exists in every office in the world, the kind that people share freely over lunch with someone they trust. You think about Derek. You think about the $1,400 in your account. You sign the contract. You have no idea that the pen in your hand just wrote the first line of your criminal record. Chapter 3. The Education. Your first month is almost disappointingly normal. Marcus sends you to industry conferences with a business card for a company that technically exists but has no real clients. You attend panels. You drink free coffee. You make conversation with engineers and product managers who are relieved to meet someone who actually listens to them. You are extraordinarily good at this. You were trained for years in sales to read a room, identify what someone wants to hear, and reflect it back to them with enough warmth that they feel understood. Turns out, this is also the foundational skill of social engineering. Marcus teaches you the rest. He teaches you that people cannot resist correcting a mistake.
So you say something slightly wrong about their industry on purpose. They lean forward, eager to fix you, and hand you the real answer. He teaches you that silence is a weapon, that most people rush to fill an awkward pause. So you let the pause breathe, and they fill it with things they never meant to say. He teaches you to become whoever the target needs you to be. A potential investor, a journalist working on a flattering profile, a recruiter with a life-changing opportunity. You practice on strangers. Within 6 weeks, you can learn someone's salary in 4 minutes, their company's unreleased product roadmap over 2 drinks, their personal password hint from a 90-second conversation about their childhood pet. You feel the electric thrill of it, the invisible art of taking something that belongs to someone else without them feeling it leave. You tell yourself it is just research. You believe it too, for now.
Chapter 4. The Escalation. 6 months in, the assignments stop being about gathering information and start being about gaining access. Marcus sends you to a pharmaceutical company with a fake identity, a fabricated LinkedIn, a backstory you memorize like scripture, a name that is not yours. You badge through their security doors every morning for 8 weeks. You eat lunch in their cafeteria. You join their team Slack. You become perfectly, invisibly ordinary. Inside, you watch. You memorize which employees prop doors open, which ones click through security prompts without reading them, which ones use their pet's name as a password hint in public Slack channels. You build a map of their entire internal trust structure, using nothing but patience and conversation. Then, Marcus sends you a specific instruction. There is a researcher. Her name is Dr. Lena Marsh. She has been working on a clinical trial for 3 years. You need access to her files. You spend 2 weeks becoming her friend. You are funny and warm and genuinely interested in her work. She invites you to a team lunch. She starts forwarding you articles she thinks you will like. One afternoon, she needs to step away from her desk and asks if you can watch her laptop for a moment. She trusts you completely. You plug in a USB drive the size of a thumbnail that Marcus gave you sealed in a plain white envelope. It takes 11 seconds. You pull it out. You smile when she returns. The thing you plugged in was not a storage device. You did not know that then. It was malware, and the moment it touched her machine, it spread quietly across the company's entire network like ink dropped in water. Chapter 5. The Machine. You find out what you actually did 3 weeks later. Marcus calls you into the office and slides a single printed page across the desk. It is a financial wire confirmation. The pharmaceutical company's entire clinical trial database, 4 years of proprietary research, was exfiltrated the same night you left the USB in place. The data was sold to a competitor before sunrise. You feel the floor tilt beneath you. You tell Marcus you did not sign up for this. You tell him you thought this was competitive intelligence, legal research. He looks at you with the mild patience of someone explaining something obvious to someone slow. He tells you that you knew, that you chose not to look too carefully at what you were carrying, that your name and your fingerprints and your fake credentials are now attached to the most sophisticated corporate espionage case in the country this year. He places a second envelope on the desk, thick, considerably thicker than your previous payments. He tells you that what you are is an asset, and that assets who panic are more dangerous than assets who perform. The trembling in your hands does not stop for 3 days. But you cash the envelope, and you show up for the next assignment.
Chapter 6. The Architect. Over the following year, you evolve from a piece of the operation into the spine of it. Marcus brings in technical specialists, actual hackers, coders, network engineers, but none of them can do what you do. They can breach a system once they're inside it. You get them inside it. You are the human exploit. the vulnerability that no software patch can close. You develop your own methods now, sharper and more ruthless than anything Marcus taught you. You identify targets through their public social media, a post about a stressful week at work, a photo that accidentally shows a badge, a LinkedIn update revealing which internal project someone just joined. You build psychological profiles so precise that you can predict what a target will respond to before you meet them. You walk into board meetings posing as IT consultants. You befriend executive assistants, the most underestimated people in any organization, the ones with access to everything. You run elaborate multi-week operations where 3 different fake identities interact with the same target from different angles, each one reinforcing the other's credibility. Your operations are generating 8 figures for Marcus's clients. You stop thinking of it as crime. You start thinking of it as craft. And that is the most dangerous sentence in this entire story. Chapter 7. The Exposure. The operation that unravels everything begins as the simplest one you have ever run. A logistics company, a single mid-level manager with access to shipping manifests, 3 conversations, a fake recruiter identity, a WhatsApp message with a malicious like. Standard. What you do not know is that the logistics company is a subsidiary of a defense contractor, and the shipping manifests contain classified government supply chain data, and the manager you targeted has a brother-in-law who works for the FBI's cyber division. The brother-in-law notices something strange on the manager's laptop the same evening you sent the link. He does not panic. He calls a colleague. Within 48 hours, a joint task force across 3 agencies is reviewing the exfiltration attempt. Within a week, they've pulled the fake recruiter identity you used. Within 2 weeks, they've traced it to 3 other operations using similar fingerprints. Within a month, they have a composite profile of someone who has been the human entry point in 11 major corporate breaches across 5 years. They do not have a name yet. They do not have a face. But they have everything else. You find out through Marcus, who finds out through a source he will not name, that the investigation exists. He is calm about it in the way that tells you he has already decided what to do with you. Assets who become liabilities have a very short shelf life in his world. You make the decision in the parking garage of a shopping center at 9:14 p.m. on a Wednesday. You are going to run.
Chapter 8. The Ghost. You spend one night in your apartment, moving fast and touching as little as possible. You clean out the cash you had been keeping in a fireproof box under the bathroom sink, close to $80,000 in the untraceable payments Marcus preferred. You destroy the 3 phones associated to your fake identities. You wipe the laptop. You leave everything else exactly as it is, which is important. An apartment that looks lived in says its owner intends to return. You drive south. You ditch the car at a train station 3 cities away and buy a bus ticket with cash. You disappear. For 6 weeks, you move between motels and short-term rentals, paying cash, using names that do not belong to you. A skill you now possess with unsettling ease. You grow a beard. You buy clothes you would never have worn before. You eat alone and speak to no one longer than necessary. You check the news obsessively. At first, there is nothing. Then a small industry cybersecurity blog publishes a piece about a pattern of social engineering breaches linked to a single unknown operator. Then a major outlet picks it up. Then the FBI releases a statement confirming an active investigation into what they are calling a sophisticated human-based intrusion network. They publish a composite sketch. It does not look much like you, but it looks enough like you. And then someone who used to know you sees it and makes a call. Chapter 9. The Trap. The call comes from someone you trusted. Someone outside all of it, a friend from before Marcus, before any of this. Someone who saw the sketch and recognized the jawline and the way you hold your shoulders and convinced themselves it could not possibly be you. Someone who made one phone call just to be sure. The FBI agent who answers that call is very good at his job. By the time you realize the noose is closing, it is already around your neck. You notice it first as a feeling, a texture in the air around you that should not be there. A man reading a newspaper on the same corner 3 mornings in a row. A car that parks differently than it did yesterday. You were trained to build these surveillance patterns. You recognize them from the inside now with a cold, absolute clarity. You run one more time, but running is different when they already know your patterns, your methods, your psychology. Because the profile they built on you is built from everything you did to other people. You taught them exactly how you think. They pick you up at a bus station at 6 a.m., 2 agents, no drama, no shouting, just a hand on your shoulder and a very quiet voice saying your real name, the one you almost forgot. It sounds foreign in your ears.
Chapter 10. The Reckoning. The federal prosecutor is a precise, exhausted woman who has clearly been doing this long enough to find nothing surprising anymore. She places 11 folders on the table between you. 11 operations, 11 companies. Combined damages the prosecution is calculating at over $340 million. 6 of those companies have since laid off staff. 1 has filed for bankruptcy. The clinical trial data you extracted, Dr. Lena Marsh's 4 years of research, was sold to a competitor who buried it because it threatened their own product. The drug that research would have approved has still not come to market. There are real people on the other end of every folder on that table. You sit very still. The prosecutor explains that the government's case is almost entirely built on a technical architecture that no one on the task force fully understands. The malware, the network intrusions, the data exfiltration routes, all of it traces back through layers of obfuscation that took elite forensic analysts months to untangle. She slides a translated technical brief across the table. She tells you this is how the operation was described by the NSA's cybercrime division. She tells you they used the phrase unprecedented sophistication 11 times in the document. You look at the brief, then you look at her. You tell her you do not know how any of that works. She looks at you for a long time. You realize she believes you, and that it does not matter, because the law does not care whether you held the weapon or just opened the door. Ending. The cycle. You were sentenced to 19 years. Marcus is never found. The consulting company dissolves 3 days after your arrest. The clients who paid for the data are untouchable behind layers of corporate structure designed for exactly this moment. The technical operators scatter. The whole machine folds up cleanly like it was always designed to disappear if one piece went wrong. You were the piece designed to go wrong. From a prison library in the 2nd year of your sentence, you read a profile of yourself in a cybersecurity journal. They call you the most dangerous hacker of the decade. They describe your methods in language that suggests expertise you do not possess. They speculate about your technical genius with breathless admiration. You were a sales rep who was good at talking to people. That is all you ever were. Somewhere right now there is a person who just lost their job, someone decent and ordinary sitting on a couch in the dark, staring at a bank balance that is quietly running out. Their phone is about to light up with a LinkedIn message. The salary looks almost insultingly good. The description says no technical experience required. They think about their rent. They think about the interview they didn't get. They think, what is the worst that could happen? They type, I am interested. They have no idea what they are about to become. The cycle continues.